attempting to deadlift.
Attempting?
To the best of our ability. Yeah,
What's the goal?
Oh, now if I call it, I gotta do it. Yeah. 585, 2 triples.
2 triples.
That's what we're gonna do. That's the plan. Doing like Olympic lifting lately, so.
Who do we have on the vlog today? Who are you?
French Canadian. JC. Yeah, probably.
And how about you?
Ali.
Ali, do you have an Instagram?
Dude, it's Ali lifts heavy things.
What about you, French?
It's JCDUBE.
What's your name?
Killian. Instagram is Killian.Hamilton.
Boom. And do you lift? Do you teach? What do you do?
I pretend to lift and pretend to teach.
He's almost doing it.
We got
He's so close to finishing the lift.
Hype Man. What's your name?
Alex Uslar.
Let's go.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
That was for 545.
PR.
Oh.
PR?
Yeah. Sick.
For the vlog.
Nothing like an ignorance PR.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, I'll take it, whatever.
585. Coming off like peaking-ish squat cycle a couple days ago, big road trips. Knowing when to shut it down. That's the key. And now we do the fun stuff. Fun stuff?
Fun stuff. You're doing whatever you want.
Favorite deadlift accessory?
Who?
Movement.
For me, block pulls.
You?
Yeah.
Well, block pull is my favorite because like I'm pulling someone I can pull a lot, but I'm not sure if it's like the best to like get me better. I guess pause deadlift would be better for me, but just a short pause, like 1 inch off the floor, so you just get the bar started and you stop right there doing thoracic extension and then you go on. That's probably how I fix my technique the best.
Put your pelvis down, feel that stretch in the side.
Yeah, okay.
Like keep it on the closed down side.
So remember how you said like adductor? So this is basically like active internal and external rotation of the hip. So to drive the leg backwards, adductor, and then glute to external. So it's good to stabilize, and it's also good to just like get everything fired up.
So would that be good for after? Or
Before, it'd be a good like potentiation exercise for external rotation in the deadlift for sure.
So think about like if you flex your elbow, every like elbow has like what's called a carrying angle. So you need to just match your carrying angle, right? If you keep your shoulders square, you try and externally rotate your shoulder and bring it back, your shoulder doesn't want to go there. With weight, it'll go there. But think, okay, if this is where you want to be, then start to turn a bit so you start to match the carrying angle. So what I mean is, most people will go like this, try and stay square.
Yeah.
There's way too much extension. So I'm gonna open up a little bit.
Okay.
Now the carrying angle is matched with the resistance of the cable all the way through the movement. So it's like we're trying to train fully lengthened, stay in the fully lengthened position, bring it out of gait cycle, which is extend that hip, create the counter force through the part of the range we're trying to train. So my toes pointing that way as the initial part of the arc is a little bit more horizontal than vertical.
Yeah.
I'm trying to push back this way with my foot because the weight wants to go that way.
Yeah.
So counter force has to have a direction. It has to be counter vector. So I'm pushing back this way, finding that carrying angle, externally rotating my shoulder. Then keep the elbow back. Then you're gonna reach what's called active insufficiency, like a point where you're no longer exerting force in this position. Like muscles that cross two joints can't effectively shorten at both joints under load at the same time, right? So it crosses the elbow, crosses the shoulder. So once you get to here, the tension starts to drop off.
Yeah.
Right? So there's no point. It's time under tension. It's time under the actual tension of the muscle part in the range we're trying to train. So spend the majority of your time in this part of the range.
Yeah.
Don't pull your elbow past the plane of your body, number one.
Okay.
Don't think of driving your elbow back.
Okay.
Don't initiate with your shoulder blade,
Okay.
right? You want to think external rotation of the shoulder and extension. Think about driving the elbow down, not pulling the elbow back, right? Because the second you do this, it's a rhomboid exercise. Your lat does not do this.
So you're doing this, kind of.
No, push out into my hand, punch like serratus, punch from here. Good, hold that. Here, feel where your scap is. Don't move your scap. Externally rotate your shoulder, drive your elbow down. Good. Then keep the scapula forward, push your elbow down into my head. Down, 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 still down, push down. Feel that, tighten that? That's how you use your lat. So you think of the whole movement like an arc with 4 quadrants. Stay with me. So think of like a straight line, and then an arc that goes over that in 4 quadrants. Try and in the first 2 quadrants of the eccentric, not move the scapula at all. So when I'm here, this is the first quadrant of this arc of movement. All our body does is move in arcs. So when we're here, we want to think, I want to stop my scapula from moving for as much as I can during that first initial phase of that concentric. So I'm here, I think scap not moving, scap not moving. I've now completed the first arc without moving my scap. Now in the second 2 arcs, let's say the arc is a 90 or 180 degree arc. So in the middle 90 degrees, then the scap moves. Because we're trying to find a fully shortened position. So scap is now retracted and depressed. Now we drive the elbow down. So it's like the humerus moves independent to the scapula in the first arc of the movement and the last arc of the movement. And the scapula starts to move from protracted to retracted and depressed in the middle arcs of the movement. Scapula usually moves 2 to 1. So for every 2 degrees of glenohumeral movement, so every 2 degrees ball moves, socket moves 1. But it's like we're trying to break that ratio because we're trying to create dysfunction. We're trying to create, like if our body functions sort of this synergistic 2 to 1 ratio when we move our scap, when we're trying to isolate our lats, we're trying to actually break that function and have our humerus move 3 to 1. Like let's not move the scap at all for as long as we can. And then once we have to in that middle range, retract and depress, then finish with the humerus moving on a fixed scap. So initiate the movement, protract, elbow down, humerus on a fixed scap, now scap starts to move, retract, depress. Now think elbow down, and then when you, just feel it like cramp up. Vertical and horizontal fibers of your lats. I would never suggest anyone train just what I would call muscle action, because all we're trying to do is put tension across the fibers as the lat through the action of extension and external rotation. The lat has a really important function, so not action, function. So think of defining function as how muscles work when we walk and breathe. When we walk and breathe, like we're not just like external rotate, extend. That's an action that we do to put tension across fibers. If you want to get jacked, do it that way. If you want to get jacked long term, you got to train the function of the lat too. So like the lat stabilizes through trunk rotation, right? Connects the shoulder to the spine. Think about walking. It's like, oh, look at that. Like think of like a pitcher as he throws, right? It's the lat that helps transfer force from the shoulder into the hip.
Yeah.
So it's like if you just train like this, just train muscle action of the lat, your low back's gonna be fucking glass. It's gonna be so fragile.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to train action and function. This is training action.